Now, for those of you who have played the original Crash Bandicoot games or their counterparts in the Insane Trilogy, you probably know how satisfying it is to collect the gems. Break all the boxes or discover a secret and you'll find yourself a nice shiny surprise. I mean, Crash loves gems so much he'll literally keep them in his head, stomach, and back pocket? You know what? On second thought, I don't think that's coming out of his back pocket. Anyways, after playing through the Insane Trilogy for the umpteenth time recently, I decided it would be a fun and quite possibly painful idea to make a list of the top 5 most difficult gems to collect through these 3 games. But yeah, Crash is probably gonna lose a lot of lives in the making of this list, so sorry Crash. Starting things off is the box gem in Diggin' It from Crash 2. This is one of those levels in which you get to backtrack through a certain part, and as all of us longtime fans know, these are super fun! That is, as long as your definition of fun is running towards the screen and getting stung by bees repeatedly. In all seriousness, this is a fun and memorable level for the most part. You've got plants spitting explosive seeds at you, some tikis trying to run into you, and some electric gates here or there, but nothing too overwhelming or out of place. About halfway through you'll get to the death route, and as far as death routes go, I feel like this is a tamer one. Outside of dancing around the nitro boxes in the beginning, it's just more of the same that we've seen this level so far. Then after the death route, we get to the fun part, getting to backtrack down the other side of the fork in the road in order to get the rest of the boxes. Now normally going down this path, you'll have multiple sections of a bee chasing you, but since we're backtracking, once we get to the section where that would happen, a bee starts coming towards you. It all comes down to timing, but there are plenty of obstacles that make this very frustrating at times. Now, expect to get stung many times and in many interesting ways. There's the old getting stung in the butt, there's the getting stung in the butt while in the air, there's the getting stung in the butt in the air and then falling into a hole, and then of course there's the classic sliding into a mine, getting stung in the butt in the air and then falling into a hole. Classic. Next up on the list is the level that makes all of us Crash fans hopeful for what the future of the franchise will look like, and that's Future Tense from Crash 3. An original level from the Insane Trilogy developers, and in my opinion, it's definitely the most difficult Crash 3 level. But it's difficult in the most fun way, if that makes any sense. I never felt any frustration when progressing through this level, which just goes to show how great of a level it is. Anyways, it's everything you've come to know and love from the future levels in Crash 3, just turned up to 11 with a couple secrets thrown in too. Like how there's a box you can only see in the reflection of the mirrors in the background. I know it can be frustrating if you make it through the whole level and just miss that one box, but it's just so old school Crash and I love that. Like most of the levels on this list, there is a death route and it's probably one of the more difficult ones to reach without losing a life. And once you get there, oh man, we get quite possibly the hardest death route in the whole trilogy, but it is tons of fun. It is chaotic Crash Bandicoot platforming in its best form. Jumping on makeshift crate platforms across a giant chasm, tornado spinning through a sea of missiles, what more could you want from a Crash Bandicoot challenge? At number 3, we have the box gem in Cold Hard Crash, and if you've played this level before, you know it's all about the death route. Getting to it, no problem, but from there on out, get ready for some frustration. The death route is almost all on ice and littered with nitro boxes placed in very painful places. But it's not just about making it to the end of the death route, oh no. You have to backtrack your way through the death route and get back to the skull platform in order to get every single box, since the exit at the end of the death route takes you past a good portion of the level. Everyone knows how much of a pain this is. Why do you think there's a collection of iron crates halfway through this death route giving us the finger? But anyways, once you make it back to the main level, you'll still need to make your way to a checkpoint box in the likely event you already used the one outside the death route. Any mess ups and you'll be doing that death route all over again. Alright, I'm sure you guys saw this one coming sooner or later. Number 2 is Slippery Climb from Crash 1, and anyone who knows Crash probably knows how notorious Slippery Climb is. It was arguably the hardest level in the original Crash, and to top things off you had to beat the whole level in one go in order to get the gem. The Insane Trilogy decided to keep this requirement, but only for the special gems, and luckily for us, Slippery Climb has the red gem. So Insane Trilogy or not, you have to traverse one of the most tricky platforming levels in the game without losing a life. And you'll have your hands full with an array of moving platforms, staircases that will fall out from under you and send you into spikes, jumping on birds, and dodging swipes from evil hands. The most intense part of this level for me is when you have to jump into the archway to get a couple of boxes and then perfectly time walking out of there to get back onto the platform circling through the air. That has always been the moment of truth for me in this level, and I'm sure everyone has their own moment like that, because there sure are a heck of a lot of them. Alright, staying on topic, remember how I mentioned Slippery Climb was one of the most notorious Crash levels of all time? Well, imagine if Slippery Climb had an older cousin that just drank 20 Red Bulls, and that is what you get with number 1 on this list, Stormy Ascent. A level so brutally difficult that the original developers of Crash, Naughty Dog, decided not to include it in the original Crash due to how difficult it was. It was brought to the Sane Trilogy though, and they have it right with their message going into the level. Good luck, you're gonna need it. Now, unlike Slippery Climb, you don't have to do this whole level in one go to get the gem, but does it really matter? When you're losing 30 plus lives and attempting this monster of a level, the frustration is gonna build. There are crazier moving platforms at crazier speeds, and even the birds are crazier. I mean, look at them move. Anyways, those are my top 5 most difficult gems to collect in the Insane Trilogy. Comment down below and let me know what yours are. And make sure to subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one.